Hi and welcome everyone. Lisa here for Imagine Crafts. Thanks for joining me. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing some quick and simple ink blended backgrounds for your Halloween cards. For this background, we're using Memento dye inks. I've done some die cutting ahead of time with the Spellbinders Witch on Broom die with black cardstock, and I'm going to be using Strathmore Bristol smooth paper. I've already cut some masking paper with a round die. Now you can use any round die you have. You can use any masking paper you have for this. We're just wanting to go ahead and mask off the area where our moon's going to be in our background. So I'm going to mask both of these off real quick and then we'll get started. Okay, so I'm going to use a blender brush for this, and I'm starting with Tuxedo black ink. I'm loading that ink up onto my blender brush. I'm going to work it into my brush a little bit on the mat and then start to work it onto the paper. I'm using a light pressure with this because I'm going to build the ink up. So you'll see me continue to blend this Tuxedo black ink onto the panel. I want the very top to be the darkest part, and then you see how as I'm coming down the piece of paper, I'm lightening that up. That's going to help us blend our next color into this black color. We're going to flip the paper around and go ahead and do the other end. What we're doing is this is supposed to be what's supposed to look like our landscape below. And then, of course, the top part would be our dark night sky. So now that we have that done, we're going to go ahead and come in with Pear Tart. Now, here's the cool thing about this technique. You can use any color you want for this second color. I'm going to use Pear Tart, and on the next panel, I'm going to use Rosebud. So all we're doing is coming in with the Pear Tart ink and blending that into the black. It's real easy to blend in together. And I'm not going heavy with my application on this. I'm keeping it pretty light. I don't want it to be too dark, but you could go as dark as you want or as light as you want. That's completely up to you. I have done these backgrounds where I've done them really the ink application heavy, but I decided on this one I was going to keep it lighter. Once I have the green laid down, I just come back in with the black ink and go over that a little bit to darken up any areas I want darkened up and to help blend a little bit better. Moving on to the next panel, I'm going to speed up through this because it's the same exact process, only I'm using different colors. So coming in with that Tuxedo black to do the top and bottom of the panel, and then we're going to come in with Rosebud. And on this panel, while I was ink blending around the masking, I tried to keep that a little bit lighter and then darkened it up along the edges. And what that does is it gives your moon this really nice glow about it, or it looks like it has a nice glow about it. You could, like I said earlier, you could go as heavy or as light as you want to with this ink application. That's completely up to you and the look you want. I just decided to keep it a little bit lighter. So we'll go ahead and remove the masking paper from our panels. And I'm going to watercolor the moon on this one. So I have a picture pulled up over here to the left that I'm following along. I'm using it as a guide. I've laid down clean water only where I want to lay down this London Fog ink. And I'm using my Memento inks to watercolor with. I'm going to come in with a little bit of Tuxedo black ink to add a little bit more detail to this. I'm leaving a space between what I'm laying down now and my ink blended background. It's going to give us this nice little glowy effect once we're done. Now you see I've left some white space in between the grays that I'm laying down in that Tuxedo black. I'm going to come in with Dandelion ink now and fill that area in. And I love the way this makes the moon look. Now for my next panel, we're actually going to ink blend it because I do realize not everybody wants to watercolor, but I want to encourage you to try this because it's actually really easy to do. And I love the we're going to go ahead now and ink blend this moon. I'm going to use my Dandelion ink and a blender brush. We're going to work that ink into our brush on the mat before we take it to the panel. And I'm just going to work in a circular motion, starting in the very center and then working the ink out. Now I'll come in also with some Cantaloupe ink to darken this up. Okay, so we have our panels finished. We're going to go ahead and add those to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base with a tape runner. Add some little square adhesive foams to the back of each witch and then center them up on our moons. I have a stamp set that's listed below if you're interested in it that I'm using one of the sentiments from to stamp onto the card base. And I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink to do that. Now the same stamp set has some tiny little stars that come with it, and I'm going to stamp some of those around the sentiment as well. And I'll finish this off with a few black gem stickers to the witch, her hat, her broom, and around her dress. Now the thing I like about the little gem stickers is you won't see them until the light hits them, and then the light starts bouncing off of them. So it's a fun little touch. So let me know what you think about the ink blended Halloween backgrounds in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed joining me today. And be sure to click that subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of new content to the channel. Now, for more information on the products used in the video, head on over to the Imagine Crafts website. And I hope you have an amazing day.